Today we're going to be checking out Womansplaining Men to Women, compilation 1 through 11 from The Dadvocate. I've seen a few of this woman's TikToks on TikTok. Imagine being able to speak properly. But I didn't actually know that her name was The Dadvocate. That's actually a great name. All dads love play on words and puns, obviously. And yeah, typically I find her pretty down to earth and funny. It'll be fun to watch from the beginning, I guess, because this is sort of the very first beginning of the series. And I don't really know how this started. So without further ado, let's just see her explain it. And I will tell you if it is dude certified.
Explaining male behaviors to women, but y'all did not like it when I called it mansplaining, so today I'm gonna husbandsplain something real quick. So
okay, I actually don't know what that means. I feel like she doesn't actually know what mansplaining technically means. Well, it's fine, don't worry about it.
I think I just experienced positive mansplaining. So I open up the fridge and I see egg, and I'm like,
Egg?
Wet. So I asked the kids, I'm like, did you guys leave this egg here? And they're like, nope. So I'm like, only one more suspect. My husband. But I want to give my man the benefit of the doubt. So I text the boys. And I'm like, why egg? And my one buddy immediately goes, oh, you had a second carton. Yeah, he must have gotten down to the last egg, and instead of leaving it there to be all off balance the next time someone picked it up or, take up a bunch of extra space, he just put it there as the priority egg. It's just like fronting at the supermarket when employees make sure that the quickest to expire items are at the front and the longer lasting items don't get used first. And I'm just like, that is exactly what happened. Priority egg. Like, he
Priority
mansplained
egg.
that so perfectly. What else are they doing that makes sense and we're just not asking?
Okay, listen. First of all, I probably would be too lazy to put the egg there. I would worry that it would get like hit or crushed. I would just put the whole second carton there. My wife would probably actually cut the carton in half so that it took up less space, but that's like way too much effort. So I would just put the one egg carton on top. But I feel like that's not really mansplaining. Am I correct that mansplaining is like the assumption that you don't know what you're talking about because you're a woman, and so they just repeatedly ignore your qualifications and keep explaining things to you like you're an amateur? Isn't, because like I think that's one of my annoyances with the term is it's sort of just turned into anytime a man explains anything, and like there shouldn't be anything wrong with a male like explaining something actually, regardless. That does make sense. That does make sense.
I want to keep explaining male behaviors to women, but y'all did not like it when I called it mansplaining, so today I'm gonna husbandsplain something real quick. Today's topic, some of you are already mad, the sink cup. There's room in the dishwasher, room in the sink. Why does he leave it there?
I'm going to cut her off on this one. It's because I'm not sure if I'm going to use it again.
This is a big one. There was a viral article where a woman left her husband over this. Here's what sink cup comes
That woman is psychotic. Psychotic.
down to. Ladies, we have got to stop trying to pigeonhole men into commitments they are not ready for. He is not ready to settle on either idea of being done drinking for the day or continuing to drink for the day. And the craziest part is he's trying not to piss you off. Because he knows if he makes the wrong decision and he's not done drinking for the day, he's going to have to dirty another dish, and that's going to make you mad. He's thinking, worst case scenario, I am done drinking for the day, but the cup is going to be right there reminding me to put it away because it's there. It's right by the sink. It's the sink cup. Typical shelf life of a sink cup is about the same as jeans. It could last 3 to 5 days. I am slowly cracking the male Da Vinci Code. You want...
This is true. I do this also with plates. I'll reuse plates like multiple times just to avoid having more dishes. But that plate does have to go somewhere. So usually it's kind of like right by the sink and or dishwasher so that you can just like pick it back up, because that's also where you make your food, or at least it's close to it, right? So if the food is getting reheated, pulled out of the fridge, cooked from the oven, you just put it right back onto that plate. It's the priority plate. Listen, I've got a priority plate. I've got a priority dish, or a glass. Sometimes I have priority silverware. The sink silverware. Depends on what I ate, though.
Wanted more male behaviors explained, so I'm going to speed run husbandsplain 2 things to you because I'm getting real good at this. The laundry chair. But the basket is right there. Yeah, he knows, but to understand the laundry chair, we must first understand the purgatory gene.
Okay, I can't wait to hear what she has to say, but listen, I'm really bad about using a laundry basket anyway.
They can also be hoodies. The point is that these are clothes that are too dirty to be with the other drawer clothes, but too clean to be in the basket. No one knows how long purgatory jeans last, but something bad has to happen for them to transition from chair to basket. He knows he's going to piss you off if these clothes touch the floor, so they do not touch the floor. He's actually trying to save the planet and reduce your laundry labor. Next up.
Okay, laundry labor. Okay, like how many couples actually have the wife do all the laundry? Because that blows my mind. My wife and I just do our own laundry. Full stop. Like, just you do it when you need it, because we have different laundry needs and different amounts of laundry that we do and different like amounts of delicate stuff and all those things. Like it's so weird to me to see all these people out here being like, when your wife does your laundry for you, like maybe if they're a stay-at-home wife or something like that, but like in the year 2025, who can afford a stay-at-home spouse? Jesus Christ. But anyway, I don't know. She's definitely right though about like there's a difference between fresh and worn but not super dirty and then dirty because if you live an interior lifestyle like I and many people do, where you're not out there sweating, you're not outside getting dirty, you're just like wearing your clothes to and from work in completely temperature climate controlled environments, you're just like you've worn it, but like is it really that dirty? No, come on. Like, obviously, underwear and socks, that stuff's got to go. But a lot of the time, man, nobody's going to even notice if your shirt gets worn a couple times.
The sink knife. Guest appearance by Sink Cup. Why isn't it just in the sink? This may look weird, but it's math. You see the perfect balance of the handle on the counter juxtaposed by the light residue just above the sink's contaminable surface makes this the perfect knife for making another sandwich with later.
You're goddamn right.
Sink knife. Follow for more discoveries.
Sink knife is absolutely correct. I do that exact same thing as well. Specifically with knives, because any of the other ones will unbalance and fall into the sink. But like if you have a knife that's got like butter on it, it's mostly just for butter, I think. But like if you have a knife with butter, like it's perfection. It's precision engineering at its finest. She gets it.
Explaining male behavior to women, part 5. All right, so whatever random ass place he left his keys.
Wait, okay, Beholder Mini? Based. Let's go.
Just leave them there. Do not move them to the key dish. Do not. That is only going to confuse him more. You will seriously fuck up this guy's whole day. See, he knows he didn't leave them in the key dish, so that's only going to make him check 5 to 10 other really stupid places that are not the key dish before he finally starts thinking the way that you would instead of the way that he would. Next up. If jeans are in a...
Okay, actually, though, I'm going to lightly disagree with this one. I would pick them up if they're obviously in a weird place and then tell him about it or tell your partner about it. I can't tell you the number of times where I've set it down randomly and then I know that I put it down somewhere weird, but I forgot about it. But like if my wife just picked it up and said, hey, your keys were in a weird spot, I put them X. Like I would remember that. And or worst case, I could say, hey, have you seen my keys? And she can go, yeah, I put them in the place, the table, the jar, the whatever you put your keys on. Like, imagine just talking.
Questionable place that are not the basket or the floor, but they have a belt on. That is your sign that they are not dirty. They will be used again. Don't throw them down. They be having like little ass Switch games and shit in them. This next one's a fun bonus.
Yes, absolutely. Never throw somebody else's pants in the wash. Like, actually, full stop. But without checking. Holy, the amount of delicate, expensive shit that can go in pockets is absolutely wild. In my case, it's especially bad because I have an insulin pump. So, like, if I was taking a shower or something and I just, like, took my pants off but the pump was in the pocket, like, whoo, lordy. I've been thrown into an ocean once because they were just like, hee, it's fun to throw kids in oceans. And I'm like, I have an insulin pump, dipshit. Like, be careful.
I see he lost the Folgers coffee lid, so you may hate that. Good for him. Last one. If you are like me and you find half-drunk body armors in every room of the house, if it really bothers you, just combine them all into one and they'll just go with it. Follow for more. We have made.
I would, I think it's a little bit more practical to pour them into a glass so that, first of all, you can see if anything's growing in it. But also it's easier if they don't have really big lids like that. But that probably will work though.
Made it to episode 6 of Womansplaining Men to Women. I'm just gonna come out and say it. If he has folded the towels, don't refold them. Stop it. It's bad. What is the absolute...
Okay, actually though, the spray bottle, we do that to our pets. It's very funny. I feel like what she's gonna say here is that if you're always just redoing the thing that he's doing, he's just going to stop doing it. Because I had that exact situation with a roommate in college, specifically with the dishes in his case. But like, we would wash the dishes and he would always just immediately go over and rewash them because he wasn't satisfied that we washed them enough. And I'm not talking like, oh, we just ran a little water over it. Like, we'd scrub them and stuff. But like, I don't know what it was. He thought that he was doing better about washing the dishes than we were. But he would just redo it. And it's at a certain point, it's like, why am I even doing this then? Right. And I just stopped. We just stopped doing it because he was going to do it anyway. He was going to redo our work. So like, I don't know.
Absolute worst thing that could happen if you opened your cupboards and saw this. Still with me? You good, babe? Every day in America, there is a well-intentioned husband who has just spent 15 minutes folding the laundry.
Wait, actually, you know what? I'm going to go back for a second. I want to actually look at that and see like,
what is the absolute worst thing that could happen if you opened your cupboards and saw this?
Okay. Let me do some quick mental math here. Let's see. We look at this. We carry the 2. My guess is gonna be that they didn't quite fit. Maybe she folded the left half and he like rolled up the right half, or maybe it was that you couldn't fit them too wide, and so then he rolled up some of them and then did some of them. I would certainly do them the same way. Like, I wouldn't mix and match in my own folding probably, but like, I'm very much an advocate of, as long as it works for you and like nobody else has to see it, then who cares?
Still with me? You good, babe? Every day in America, there is a well-intentioned husband who has just spent 15 minutes folding the laundry. And there is an irritated wife who's about to spend 20 more refolding them because he didn't do them good enough. And that's just one example. If you are in a heterosexual relationship, there is a 100% chance that after he did a chore, your first reaction was, yeah, that chore's not done. And then some of you will redo the whole chore. Others will get mad and scold him for his half-assery. I have done both, and both have wasted my fucking time. You redo the whole chore, you're wasting your life. You reprimand him for helping, and now
you're wasting both your lives, actually.
Chore. Because if he doesn't do them, you're mad. And now if he does do them, you're mad. It's a whole mess. And the truth is, he wants to make you proud. He really does. He dreads the thought of you telling your friends how bad he is at laundry. Because he knows you do. Ladies, to get what you both want, you gotta flip the script. This is a 2-part plan. Part 1, let go of what you can. If you were not traumatized by Gemini cupboard, try it. You might not hate it. And part 2, trick him by presenting your chore preferences as noble tasks that yield rewards. No, literally be like, I have a daring quest for you should you choose to accept it. A maiden is in search of a rare knight who dares load the dishwasher from back to front instead
okay,
of
I'm
front
already
to
sold.
back, so that she will know how much room is left. Do you dare accept this quest? Dude, guarantee you he will be down as fuck. It's not about rewarding him for something he's supposed to be doing already. It's about making your differences fun again and easing up icky chore conversations. It's about being a silly goose. Seriously, host your discussions of labor division like a Knights of the Round Table council meeting. Pop off champagne when you finally come to a resolution. Recognize each other as autonomous and competent partners, and let's go.
Let's go. All right. I think that actually I have a couple of thoughts about that. The idea of presenting things in a fun way is absolutely more productive in general. It doesn't have to be that over the top, but my wife and I definitely like to sort of make things extra silly if we can find humor in something like that, and it definitely helps it seem more approachable. Like we'll get something done and then we'll be like, behold our majesty, we've accomplished such great tasks this day. And you know, I don't know, it just makes you feel better about it. What I will say is that this is kind of true. It's not necessarily gendered, although it does have more of a prevalence, I think, for the standard gender roles. But there is often just a standard that people will have different standards for what they consider to be clean or presentable or anything like that. And if they are too mismatched, it's going to cause that friction because like find any person you know that it thinks that they're like totally normal. You can always find somebody who expects things to be even cleaner, even more spotless, even better presented. And then you take that person and you can always find someone even more than that. And sure, it's probably a bell curve for how few people there are at a higher rung. But the problem is that if any of those pairings, one of them is going to be like, it's crazy. It's totally, you know, clean. It's good enough. It's whatever. And the other person's like, no, it's not. You're not doing enough. Right. But the problem is that it's mismatched expectations and mismatched desires, I guess. And so, you know, it's something you're going to have to work out because neither person is explicitly correct. Right. It's as long as you're not actually unsanitary, like it just depends, right? So it actually is very important when you're getting into a relationship to sort of figure these things out, because if one of you literally has to have a spotless, like no dust in the house anywhere on any surface level of cleanliness, like that's actually going to be a lot more extreme than a lot of people. But if you ask them that, they'll be like, no, this is just basic hygiene or whatever. And it's like, okay. So I don't know.
In part 7. You've made it this far. I feel you may be prepared for one of the final truths. Make sure you're sitting down. I do not reveal this lightly.
The fact that she has at least like 50 more of these indicates that it's a lie, that it's the final truth. But it is a funny presentation.
Ready yourself? He does not care about chores as much as you, and he never will. You felt it in your heart and you feared it to be true. It is. Deep down, you've been dreaming of the day you don't have to tell him what to do because he just knows. Now, this will happen sometimes. It's on accident. So let's examine why. You two have experienced 2 different traumas. You as a woman have lived your entire life societally conditioned to believing that your worth is directly attached to your amount of emotional labor. He has not. Is that a privilege? Maybe. But instead, he has spent his entire life as a man societally conditioned to believing that his worth is directly derived from how much money he earns. Women deal with that less. Your priorities will always be different. To you, he is half-assing every single chore. To him, he will never understand why you fold your underwear. Why would someone waste their time like that? And you know what? Part of the desire to get the chore done quickly is to play Fortnite faster. Just like we will leave our makeup scattered around the sink like a hurricane went through in 3 different outfits that we decided against thrown across the floor as we fly out the door for girls' night. He will never get the same joy out of seeing the counters wiped down as you do. His joy comes from seeing you happy. Stop trying to convince him he will be happy if he wipes down the counters. He doesn't give a fuck about those counters. Convince him that you will be happy if he wipes down those counters. Men will do all kinds of stupid shit to make you happy. Take marriage, for example. That was too far? You think I should cut that out? Okay, I will. Look, we've already lost all control by choosing to be attracted to someone. We might as well figure him out. Just like, you might as well hit follow. Womansplaining.
That was a good one. Dude, the fact that she literally had a whole separate post about exactly what I was talking about. Again, I will say it's not always gendered, but it is definitely more often correlated with the gender of the people involved. But again, not always. But her main point still stands. Like, stop trying to convince them that they will be happy if this happens, because they don't care. That person does not care. That otherwise they would be doing it that way, because that would be what like the level that they value. As for like convincing them that it will make you happy, yes and no. It all depends on the like extremeness extremity, I guess, that you're talking about. But it all depends.
Men to Women Part 8. We're too far into the series to avoid this any longer. The toilet seat. Is a man to leave it up or down? Many women believe that because only a man requires both lids to be up, that a man is responsible for putting one lid down. After all, both parties require one lid down for number 2, but only the man requires both lids up for number 1. However, many others believe that there's a more equitable solution. He lifts as he needs, she lowers as she needs, each taking accountability for their own body's needs. Well, it's time you know the truth. You should both be lifting the lid because you should both be lowering the lid, especially before you flush.
Yes.
Y'all, it's called the toilet plume. Every time you flush a toilet, 145,000 particles of all the poop, pee, puke, and whatever else has gone into there explodes out all over the bathroom, covering your hairbrushes, your toothbrushes, spreading any viruses you're shedding. You filthy animals. And if that's not the advice you wanted, take solace in the fact that your bathroom just got an extra chair. Womansplaining meant
That one's true. I do find the entire argument to be very eye-rolly because it's like, well, you're the only one who needs it this way. It's like, well, listen, it just seems extremely lazy for women to be like, I don't want to have to ever touch it ever to do anything. I'm like, oh, okay, well, like, sure, I guess. Like, I don't want to have to lift it. Like, whatever. I don't like. I think that the correct answer is either you just do what you need but her answer is actually much better. It is correct that it is objectively much more sanitary to be closing the lid entirely. We have a bonus in our house because we have 2 cats. So we also close the lid so the cats don't, drink out of the toilet because that's super unsanitary. So we already have a reason to close the lid anyway. I honestly can't believe that people have real arguments about this kind of stuff. I know that they do because like I've seen people argue about dumb shit and it's like they don't resolve it, but also it's never going to get resolved and then they just seethe about it. But I don't know.
To Women Part 9. Pardon my woman spreading. Some of you ladies have been asking how to deal if you
actually woman spreading is when you put all of your bags on the other seats. Man spreading is the leg spreading. Woman spreading is the bags on the other seat.
Doesn't make the bed or if his side of the room is a mess. So if you absolutely need your bed made every day, the rule is whoever's the last one out of bed makes it. Sorry, that's just
obviously.
The rule. So if that's all you needed to settle the debate on who does it, there you go. You can probably stop the video now. But I beg you to consider the actual power move. Literal best solution is if you both don't care if the bed is made. Now keep in mind, until this episode, I have never, ever asked you guys to simply not care about something. Just how to communicate differently about it, or what it means. But for making the bed every day, why do you care? I mean, who's gonna see it? If he doesn't care.
Exactly what I said about the linen closet. Nobody's gonna see it except for you, and the only time you're gonna see it is immediately before getting into bed. I don't understand this convention of making beds for anything other than a guest, or obviously like hotels, which I guess is guests. But I understand it from like you're getting into a new bed that you've never gotten into. Sure, make the bed. But why? Why go to all of the effort of like re-pulling and re-tucking and re-whatevering when literally the only use is that you're going to immediately take it off? It would be like putting a couch cover on your couch every time that you got off of it so that when you get on it, you can get back on it because the couch cover looks nice, but actually using the thing, it's like I don't get it. I don't get why people feel the need to make the bed. Fortunately, neither of us make our bed.
And you don't care. Who cares? Look at all this room for activities. Simply not making the bed is so much easier than getting out of bed or remaking the whole bed. Then when you want to get back into bed, you have to take everything off again and then get back in and then cover yourself back up again. When you could simply drop in bed, pull the covers up. Now, if you're having guests over and your room is like the place that guests come in to throw their coats on the bed, for the love of God, both of you clean that room. As for his side of the room,
sure.
Same rule. As long as neither of you are regularly having guests in there or doing HGTV home tours, let the man have his space. Quite frankly, I simply pretend I do not see it. Now, there is a difference if he's keeping like food and trash in there like a damn raccoon. Sir, if you want to be Dexter's lab and do science experiments, you also need a rotating bookshelf. Now hit follow and stay tuned because for episode 10, we're covering the man flu.
Oh, the man flu. All right. Yeah, that was a lot of fun. I think I mostly agree with her takes on most of them. I think that most of it comes down to utilitarianism versus making something for presentation. And I think that a lot of the time men are generally conditioned / raised to take the utilitarian solution and not care as much about the presentation, especially when it's not for anyone else. I think it's kind of, honestly, it's kind of annoying how often the discussion sort of like rolls back around to like, well, I have to do all of these things. And it's like, when that guy was single, he didn't have he almost certainly didn't have a maid or something. Like, like we actually just live that way, with the sink cup or the sink plate or the way that we fold the laundry. Like, it's just fine. It's not hurting anyone. And like I said earlier, as long as it's sanitary, like, full stop. Anyway, I think she's pretty funny. I like her presentation. I think that she has a good command of humor while also, breaking things down pretty reasonably. So I don't know. Let me know if you want me to check out more of her videos. I see on my recommendations immediately there are several more compilations. I don't actually know how many there are, but I mean, she's been at it for at least 2 years now. So anyway, time.